Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the session. And a couple of minutes and we'll start. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Thank you and welcome to the class. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining, and we'll begin in 30 seconds. Good morning, and welcome to the class. And let us begin. Today, I will be talking about a new topic, an important topic, how to write functional specification document for reports. Functional specification document for reports. In standard SAP, there are many reports. In standard SAP, there are many reports. But at projects, you will always find need for additional reports. Now, when you find additional report, if you need additional report, there are two options. If you need additional reports, then we have following two options. One, we write a custom reports in a web, or VI, which is business intelligence. And the second option is there are some query options in SAP. And sometimes people uses them and sometimes not. Sometimes not. And the reason for that is because queries has impact on system performance. So queries has impact on system performance. So sometimes people use, sometimes not use. So either you write a custom report, either you write an ABAP, or you can use BI. BI is a business intelligence or BW. Some people use BI, BW. So then they write these query reports in BI and BW. And sometimes people do not use it. They can use query if it is not a very complex data extract, and you can use query. Okay. So that is how, this is what we will be talking about today. That how do we write a functional specification for a report? It is one of the important responsibilities for a functional consultant. So when you are working on a project, writing a report, a custom report could be one of your important responsibility, which team can ask you to do. Okay. Okay. Now, I want to take an example of how report can be used. Okay. So it's a very simple example, but it is an actual example, a real example of writing a report, a real example. So customer ABCD Inc., they need a report, sales by ship to and by state. Invoiced sales dollar for a given ship to a state for a given period of time. This is the requirement. This is the requirement that So for our reporting purposes, for our taxation purposes, we want to know that by the state, how much is my sales? So how much I did the sales in New Jersey, how much I did the sales in Pennsylvania, how much I did in New York, how much I did the sales in California, and by ship to party. So by ship to party and by a state, I want to know how much sale I have done. That's it. A simple example. So now, when you're writing a report, in any report, there are two things. There is a selection parameter and there is an output. There are two things. So when you look at any report, whether it's a standard, whether it's an ABAP, whether it's BI, or any report for that matter, in every report, we have these two things. So there is a selection criteria and there is an output. Selection criteria. So when we're writing functional spec, in any report functional specification, we have following two things. First, for this report, what are my selection criteria and what is my output? Those are the two things. So for example, let's have log into SAP. Okay. Okay. So here, if you go to information system, and here there are different reports. This is for logistics, this is for accounting. If you go to accounting, you can see the report for financial accounting, for general ledger, account payable, or whatever. Right? Now, a lot of these reports which you're seeing here are standard SAP reports. These are there out of the box. And if you run any of them, the very first thing you have here is selection criteria. I put my company code. I can put my customer count, did this date, and different criteria. And then we run the report. So what I did, it's just one example. You can do this with any example. So we go to accounting. So let's say I want to go to customer sales. I want to see. In fact, I'm just showing you one or two examples. You should familiarize yourself with other reports also, which are there in the standard SAP system, right? So that will be helpful. So you go to customer sales. In the customer sales, you can put customer account to this account to this account, this company code to this company code, this period to this period, this account to this account, which fiscal year. These are all different selection criteria. So you can run this report by customer count, by company code, by any search parameter, by the period, by fiscal period, and many other things. So these are various selection parameters which are available for us in SAP. Now we go to company code. So G037. So let's say I want to see G037. G037, if I want to choose a customer, I can choose a customer, or I can do for all my customers. So we have a choice. These are various selection parameters. If you see here, the company code G037. These are all different company code we have. And if I choose a specific company code, now for this company code, this is my output. So when I run for that company code and for this customer, this is my output. In company code, this reporting detail from this period to this period in 2019. In this company code, in this reconciliation account, for this customer, 102367. Name of the customer is J&J Company, whatever, Johnson & Johnson. This is the city. This is the postal code. This is the city. This is the street. This is the region. This is the currency. And this is the sales. And this is the sales, actually. So we have sold this customer 1,279. So what is my total sale? 1,270. So that is my total sale for this customer. That is what we did. That is my total sales. Now, this is just one example. Now, what we need, and I would like you guys, I just shown you one example of a report. One of the things which each one of you do, run all these different reports. This is customer balances. This is the customer item, list of customer per line item. This is material master into it. There are other reports with the master data. It's a simple report. You just run with the different parameter, account list. So this is the list of accounts. AR account list where you can put the different selection parameters. So we see that here. So if you put a company code, if you want to see my customer list by various parameters, you can get different parameter, different selection information. So this is, report which has come up. So in this company code, this is my customer 1, this is my customer 2, this is my customer 3, this is my customer 4, this is my customer 5. Another simple report, just an example that how this report works. Okay. So this is another example of the report back. And then in the report, similarly, so this is account receivable. You want to see for the account payable. So similar, many reports for account payable also. So like you want to see the vendor balances. You put your company code. And you want to see your vendor balances. So these are your different vendors. So in this company code, These are my this period to this period. This is my vendor balance. Company code G037, 3737, reconciliation account 16000. This is the vendor number 1, vendor number 2, vendor number 3. This vendor is Best Buy, Home Depot, and the city, country, whatever, the address detail. And then in the last, this is the balance. This vendor balance this vendor balance this vendor balance this. And the total is 1,199. Okay. So this is my total balance. So, and you can also run for a specific vendor as well. Similarly, you can run, any other report. I'm just showing you one or two examples. There are many reports actually out of the box. So actually dozens and dozens and dozens of reports are available. In fact, you should be aware. Okay? You should be aware. Okay? So that is what we can do in a standard SAP, in which we can define different vendor 1, vendor 2, vendor 3, vendor 4, vendor 5, each of the addresses. Now, these are the standard reports. Now, I want a report which is not standard. Now, and that is not available in the standard. So we have all the, and that is why you need to know standard reports, because when you know the standard report, then you can verify what is the gap. Because unless you know the standard report, you cannot tell whether this report is a gap or whether this report is not a gap. So you will only know if it is a gap if you know what is there in the box. That is why just play with the system. I showed you a few examples of some custom standard reports out of the box. There are many others. Just play with it. Now here, they need a sales report by ship to state. So invoice sales dollars for a given ship to state for a period of time. They want by state, and the state should be from ship to party. Ship to party basically means where the material actually delivered, the address where the material is being delivered. Because your customer may be there in New York. And why this is a gap? Because this is the report which is needed for the ship to state. Because my customer is in New York, but my product is delivered in Pennsylvania. So I don't want where is my customer is. I want where my ship to address is. And I want to know the state of that ship to state. And I want the sales amount for that ship to state. That is what we want to. Okay. Now that is why this is a custom report. Now what you have to do with this custom report? So this is the requirement. This is the actual FSD document. Okay. Now if you see here, we define selection criteria. So now this is this Excel sheet which you see, that is the responsibility of a functional consultant. This is what you will be potentially be doing. So in the selection criteria, we need company code, we need sales organization, we need distribution channel, we need division, we need ship to country, because ship to party could be US, ship to address could be in Canada, could be Mexico, could be Europe, or any country in the world. So we want to know that what country it is, because when you're doing taxation, country is important. Then I want to know ship to state, what state that is. So country, and in that country, what state it is, because taxation is always by the state. So that is why they want to know the state of the ship to. Now in the taxation, a state is also needed for the ship to address, not sold to address, ship to. And then we can have a date range from this period to this period, but not less than 1 month and last 6 months, the last 4 months, whatever period it is. Now, each of the selection criteria, whether this criteria is optional or not optional. So this is optional, means you can choose to enter it if you want. This is optional, this is optional, this is optional, this is optional. Date range is not optional. It is mandatory. For company code, I need a drop down. So when I go back here, so I need a drop down. So I'm putting this is a drop down. You see that here? In the company code, I can get a drop down. So I'm specifying to them that when you write this, I need a drop down. In the drop down, and for sales organization is also drop down. For distribution channel, I need a drop down and multiple value selection. Company code, I'm only going to select one at a time. Sales organization, I'm going to select one at a time. But division, distribution channel and division, I can choose, it is needed drop down, but I also need multiple options, multiple value selection. If you see here, this is a multiple selection of company codes. I can choose more than one value if I choose to. Okay. I want drop down, and I'll also want ability to do multiple value selection. Multiple value means I can do more than one distribution channel, I can do more than one division. Then I want to drop down and multiple value selection for ship to country. So which country we can have this customer, this product is coming from. Then we can have a drop down and multiple value selection for that also. Date is a range from this date to this date. So date is a range. If you're going by the balances, you can define the range. From this date to this is the range. Because normally when you're defining the date is normally is a range. Date is normally a range. Okay. Okay. Now important thing is this column. That is why I have mentioned how to find a table. So mapping with the table is an important responsibility. Mapping with the table is another important responsibility. Okay. Now, if you look at here, these are the different tables so there is a BVRK, 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 BVRK. So BVRK is a table. We can check what is BVRK. If I go to H11, we talked about another session. So I can put table BVRK in display. Now this field mapping is important. So BVRK is an active table, and this is the table in which we have a billing document header data. So when you bill the customer, then billing information goes into this table. So what we are saying here is that we'll go to BVRK and the field BUKRS. And if you see here, these are the different fields in this table. This table alone has 98 fields. Billing document, billing type, billing category, sales organization, distribution channel, fiscal year, county, state, country, company code. So what we are saying, this is the field BUKRS. So if I need company code, I go to this table BVRK and go to this field called BUKRS. BUKRS. This is BUKRS. BUKRS. If I want sales organization, then same table BVRK, then I go to VKORG. So I go to VKORG. So if I read sales organization, so VKORG. And that is where we have a VKORG. The same thing for others, like if you want the distribution channel, same table, the field is VTWEJ. We go here, there is a distribution channel. VTWEG. That is what we see here. VRK, VTWEG. If I go to output, so now we have a selection criteria. The next thing which we see is the output. In the output, I need this field, second field, third field, fourth field. So I need these 4 fields in output. The first output I need, ship to state. Which state? New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania. What is my ship to number? Not customer number. This is ship to number. That is where this report is required, because this report is not at the customer sold to level, but at a ship to level. That is why we have to do this custom reporting. Okay. So ship to level. Then we have the invoice number. Then we have an invoice number. And then we have gross amount. Now this also, we are mapping to one table, BVRK only. Now this example of the report which I'm showing you, actually pretty simple example. and I selected this example by design so we can get a better understanding, because this everything that's coming from only one table, but it could be that you need many different tables, and so that is also possible, that you have different tables and multiple tables, and from those tables you're pulling the data. Data can always be pulled from more than one table as well. This just happened to be one table. It does not need to be okay. So now, when I want the SIP tested, I go to VVRK, and the field is REGU. So this is the table VVRK, but and then if you go back, there are 98 fields in this, and we have here REJ, region, state, country. Okay, so we have a region, and then we have done the mapping with the region. I want customer number. Now this SIP2 party, now this SIP2 party is different. There is a logic here. See here, there is a logic. Now for this SIP2 party, I'm not going to BVRK. For SIP2 party, I'm going to different table. That table is VVPA. In the table VVPA, I'm going to field KUNNR, and VVPA table, I'm searching my partner equals to SH. SH means SIP2 party. And there is a little bit of a logic which you have to write, because where does the system find SIP2 party? So if I go back to the table BVPA, back, that is why the table is structured. Knowing some of the table is important, BVPA, and when you will do more and more, you will understand this. So this is the partner table. So the partner table, I want to know my partner function. In this partner function, I want to use PRVW. PRVW. So BVPA, go to PRVW. And PRVW. And in that, we have to select a partner function equals to SH. Now, this is an example of how to write a simple report. I just basically wanted to show you this, because when you go into real world, it could be one of the important responsibilities. Okay. Okay. Just a minute. So this was actually the last topic which I wanted to cover. So this was our last topic today, and we have following steps, next steps. Number one, I will so they are following next step. Number one, I will send some additional videos. No, too many videos, I know. And then send me your homework. I think most of you have already, some of you have sent, some of you not. To send me your homework. Homework is exercises. Then I would like to do a quick mock interview, and then we can start finding jobs. So that is the next step, and everyone has my details and all that anyways. So that is what it is, and with this it concludes the course today. But obviously this is end of beginning. This is not end, but just the end of beginning. We have many things still to do. But if I see a former class, there is another option of rejoining. So if you want to rejoin the class, you can rejoin the next class whenever I think they're going to start. So you can rejoin the class. So that is another option. And that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining the session. Take care. Thank you, Meenakshi. Thank you, everyone.